Of course. I forgot to unmute the mics, of course. What's up, everybody? SaturnDave here and TraynoCo. How's it going?
Welcome.
Pat, sorry. It's always something.
Welcome to the show. It's all good. It's all good. We you know, like life, we all make mistakes.
Dan literally put on his timeline of the show, he's like, open with futzing around with technical difficulties. and then roll.
It wouldn't be a SHIRO show without it.
Right? Because there's like a bunch of little, I swear, there's a bunch of little... Well, you know, you've piloted the show, so you know how many little buttons and switches you have to toggle to get everything working.
I just keep hitting the self-destruct one over and over again. I don't know if that's a subconscious thing or... But anyways, the most important thing is I think I know why we're all here. It's about a game that we're all going to be playing tonight, that's for sure. A game that we're all going to be playing.
Oh, wow.
And that's, of course, not this piece of garbage. It's going to be Stellar Assault Double S, baby. That's what we're playing here. We're here for the launch of Stellar Assault Double S.
That's right.
Is it Double S? It's on the Saturn. So we are launching the patch today. We have the article right here somewhere. It's hidden. Dave can't see it because it's my special article.
I can't see it, no.
He's not allowed to. He's banned. But yeah, it will be including the patch to download it. And hopefully it will not crash our site, even though it would be funny if it did.
It's not up yet, right?
No, not yet.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. So yeah, we're all here, and we've got folks in the voice chat. We've got the team, Stellar Assault SS. That's the thing, Greg or Dan, whoever cares to comment. What are we calling you now? Is it Patchwork yet, or is it?
It's called Patch. They named it after me.
Well, it's like I've been calling you the bulk slash localization team.
That works. That's what we've been calling it.
But now you've graduated to the Stellar Assault translation team, or the Stellar Bulk.
We'll just list the whole resume each time something happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Stellar bunch of bulk.
You guys are too good for a name. You guys, a name cannot contain the greatness, because you guys are constantly setting the bar.
No name.
Exactly.
The Loc team with no name.
I mean,
exactly.
Honestly, Saturn or no Saturn, you guys just happen to... We are lucky to have you a part of our little niche community, but you guys are literally pretty much like up here as far as like in terms of like now everybody basically has to follow in you guys' footsteps in terms of doing these kind of dubs and localization. I've not seen a single dub or localization on any platform that can contend with what you guys are putting out, so it's pretty... I know that maybe sounds like I'm, stroking your ego, but can you think of one, Pat? Can you think of a single like dub or localization that's been done to
I'm
this
pretty
kind
sure
of?
There's one on the PC Engine.
Okay.
I think one of the East games. I think.
Oh, one of the East games. Okay. Yeah.
I think so. There was a dub done on that. I remember, because I remember there was a big thing back in the day.
That's perhaps even more niche, but yeah, it's just crazy. Like. I've been playing through it quite a few times. Now I still haven't gotten the good ending, but I've played through it a few times, and like I can't get over just how awesome it is. I guess folks probably want to see the trailer, right? Should we do that? Should we open up with the trailer? Or do you guys want to wait?
Do you have thoughts on that, Dan? It's all good to me as far as I'm concerned. One day is the day.
If you want to do it now, or if you want to talk a little bit about the process and how we've been, what we've been doing the last few months to kind of carry this across the finish line.
Sure, absolutely. Sorry, I kind of take it for granted because we've been following you guys doing this for months now, but but it's true. There's like, for folks who are just listening in or just watching and hearing about all of this for the first time, we've got the folks who did the amazing bulk slash localization. We got Lacquerware, Greg, Dan Thrax, Shadow Mask. I think Malenko helped out, and Trekkies, right? And then
Cargoden was
Cargoden.
One of the script editors. Yeah, core team with the core team that was in the Discord server all the time. That was Dan, Shadow Mask, Cargoden, me.
Right. Okay.
and then the 9 actors, which we'll talk about, I think, over the course of the stream.
Do you want to start from the beginning on how this all began briefly, and just kind of summarize?
Yeah.
Why did you guys choose this game? I'm curious.
Yeah, why this game? Why not Princess Crown?
Well, I think I talked about it a lot during our bulk slash streams, that I was interested in doing sort of mid-sized or smaller games that weren't that high volume in terms of like what would need to be translated, because I feel like a lot of fan translations start strong and then fizzle out because they're just so demanding, and the kinds of games that tend to get fan translations are the stuff like RPGs that have a lot of text, like Princess Crown, because those are the ones with the highest barrier of entry, or where the language barrier presents the biggest issue. But I figured there's games like Bulk Slash where the language barrier, it doesn't prevent you from enjoying the game, but it's like if you could understand the language, then it would definitely enhance the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was interested in continuing to find games sort of in a similar scope to Bulk Slash. And this is just another Saturn game that's kind of like that, and that I'm a fan of myself, and that had we figured out early on that the editing or the process of replacing audio would be pretty much the same as what we did with Bulk Slash. So it seemed like something we could do from a technical standpoint. But back in December 2021, mere weeks after we launched Bulk Slash, I made a bunch of PowerPoint pitches, which I sent to Dan for a handful of candidate titles for our next project. This was the one that Dan was the most interested in, and I agreed that it made a lot of sense. And then so one of the other ones I'll just come out and say was Nanatsukaze no Shima Monogatari, which is the Isle of the Seven Winds side-scrolling adventure game with the beautiful 2D graphics. But that game has a lot of very complicated text-related hurdles, so it seemed a lot iffier. And that also, there's so much text in that game that it gets into that territory of, this would be a very long-term project.
Yeah.
So it just felt like a logical follow-up to.
And this was back in February of last year. This was, about 15 months ago, 16 months ago, January maybe.
Yeah, well, I was saying it was when I initially sent you those PowerPoints. It was the same month that Bulk Slash launched in December.
Was it really? Geez, I don't even remember that. I thought it was a little bit later.
And then I don't remember when we actually had the conversation about them. It might have been a little later, but. Yeah. Plus, we had just met Shadow Mask, and he was down to collaborate again on a project. So we were like, okay, so we have real audio expertise moving forward. So
the official stuff.
It kind of made sense to do a game that was even more audio heavy, which this game certainly is.
It is, like, a lot. There's a lot of dialogue in this game, which is great because it helps the actor shine. It also is it's a game that a lot of people are going to play, I think, too, because it's not like a genre it's an action genre. I think a lot of people will have a go at it versus it being something like Monogatari, which I really appreciate for the art and stuff like that. I just don't know. It's like one of those games that maybe is not for everybody. You recently played through that one, right? Translating it yourself, just like playing through the game, right?
Yeah, I sort of stumbled through a live interpretation
it was a rough
of it.
one, right? Because there's just so much text in there.
Well, not only that, but the whole game is written in this sort of dreamy, like syntactical style that's not like normal Japanese. So it was like it's almost like trying to translate like a poetry for children.
That's like a artistic, cultural kind of thing that would be lost in translation.
It's like the game had its own distinct syntax, which is really hard to replicate the meaning and also still make it sound halfway decent.
Interesting.
So I opted to do one but not the other.
Cool.
It's a cool game, but I pity whoever tries to translate it because there's a lot of prohibitive complications with him.
Honestly, you could have done either and I'd have been happy, but definitely Stellar Salt was one that I was begging you guys to do, and so I was really, really pleased to hear that you guys were doing it. And then, it was kind of a whirlwind. You put out the audition, that audition notice, and then just had like a bunch of people reply, right? And you guys went through auditions, it seems like really fast. Like I was amazed at how quickly.
It took us a couple months, like July to September or something like that?
That's fast.
Yeah, I think I guess, it depends. It's all relative, right?
Yeah.
I think that the audition process was a little longer than Bulk Slash, despite having fewer roles.
Okay.
But I don't know. We started in July, got a big response, and we're pretty picky. And then I think it wasn't until October even that we had the full cast.
Okay, yeah.
And then we actually didn't even start recording until like November.
Right.
Which
the script wasn't really locked down until October. Like you were sitting there translating it, listening to it and transcribing since about February?
Yeah, so that's the thing, is that because this is all audio, I had to transcribe the entire game by ear. And it's about 3 times the amount of text audio as Bulk Slash, so it was a lot. And then I don't think I even had a first draft of the translation until June. And then we did 2 rounds of revision. First I revised it myself, and then Cargodin and Danthrax went through and proposed edits, and then I sort of collated everything. So it was actually, if you count Danthrax and Cargodin as 2 separate passes, that's draft, my pass, Cargodin's pass, Danthrax, and then final. So it's 5 revisions of the script. Right. And then in the recording process, the script also changed considerably.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so that was sort of one of the fun things, is I try to be a little bit of a stickler for not letting things sound like a translation. Mm-hmm. And part of that, what I've found is like when you hear that a delivery just sounds kind of forced or stilted, is learn to abandon that wording and find something that works better, that comes more naturally to the actor, because they're all coming with their own sensibilities. And sometimes they'll come up with, like, they get the idea of the line, but it's just that wording just doesn't, like, there's something about it that they're not getting. And then they'll come up with something even better than the original wording anyway, that also feels more natural to them. Yeah. So that happened to varying degrees with different actors. I think if Ramir's not here yet, I think he is here, actually.
I think he is.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, he's in the chat.
He played Captain Jake.
Yeah. I love his ad-libs. Like, based on what I saw from the script and then what he ad-libbed, I was like, oh, that sounds great. Like, calling it a gig, or, just, oh my, the don't die, or, right? Mm-hmm. That was one of my favorite lines.
I forget what the original line was, but it wasn't "don't die," was it? It was
don't get got. Don't get got. And he was just like, just don't die.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of those lines.
It's the delivery. Like, it's all in the delivery, though,
Yeah, and feel free to chime in, Ramir, but he definitely improv'd the most.
Yeah.
And I just feel like we really, like, at some point in the middle of the project, we really, like, found our stride where, we would get to a line and just real rapid fire be like, okay, try this wording, what else you got? He would invent a wording and invent it, So it was just like each line, I mean, it definitely made it take longer, but I think that the end result was a lot better for it.
Right.
I would say I'm sorry, but thank you.
Your volume's really low, Ramir.
Oh yeah, bump up your volume if you can.
I would say I'm sorry, but thank you.
That's better.
No need to apologize. It's great. Your performance is one of my favorite parts of the game. Seriously.
Oh,
yeah.
Thanks.
And I auditioned for that part too. So it was like even the lines.
Begrudgingly.
No, you did it better, like way better. I was like, oh, That's so much better than how I envisioned it, like one of those, colonels that are like shouting, kind of like the, Colonel Haughty or something like that. But the way you brought it was way better than I could have imagined. Yeah. So no, I love the way that you delivered the lines and ad-libbed. It was great.
No, thank you so much. Yeah, it was really fun doing it, and Lacquer really has everybody in the team. They have a real ear for these things. So like the rapid firing, at some points it was like necessary. Like I'm not a native English speaker, so I have some difficulties with words that involve like lines that involve a lot of S's.
That's it turned out the script was full.
Yeah.
That's the great thing, though, because the game hinges on the fact that it's it's every nation coming together, right, to stop this foe.
True.
So it had to be a really diverse cast, with different accents and stuff like that. And so I thought that was perfect.
Thanks for putting that out, because I said the same thing with Bulk Slash, but I've always felt like for certain genres and subject matter, that's a real strength of English, which is that it's spoken the world over, as opposed to Japanese, which is mostly spoken in Japan. So you're able to get this great vocal diversity, all these different flavors and character that comes out. And when you're dealing with a space opera where the whole point is it's the best and brightest of the entire human race, then I feel like it just adds to that to have an international cast.
Absolutely.
And I should also mention that Ramir was working with us with a 6-hour time difference. So there was a lot of, he was very flexible.
Lots of coffee, probably.
Yeah, all these late night sessions.
Yeah.
Considering he had some of the most lines. I don't know who had the most lines, actually.
Edgar, wasn't it?
We did count it up on the audition. I wonder if I still have that.
Jake does have among the most, though. Yes, you're right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It seemed like it's a lot. He's almost in every scene, or talks in every scene, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Jake, Edgar, and Maria are definitely top three. Although Aya, who is your commanding officer and gives a lot of the briefings during the FMVs, she does have a lot of lines, too. She also is the opening cutscene, and Renee Martin played Aya, so she had a lot of too.
And she may be joining us as well at some point.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah, somebody commented I look like a penguin. The only acceptable answer is if you say I look like Danny DeVito's penguin, because he's objectively the best penguin interpretation, and don't at me at all. You, was it the guy from the TV show, the Gotham fan girls for that penguin? Don't at me. It's Danny DeVito's the answer. Sorry.
Yeah, well,
So if you're still interested, it looks like Jake did, in fact, have the most lines at an estimated 370. Then Edgar with 322. Aya with 203. Maria with 219.
I'm also a big Edgar fan, by the way. I really liked Edgar's lines as well. And that delivery was great. Perfect for an AI.
Yeah, that was Dan Bosley who played Edgar. He did a great job.
Yeah, no, I loved Edgar. That was one of my favorite characters, and the fact that I learned it's pretty much the Japanese source that you played like Data. I was like, oh yeah, I like that.
Yep.
Yeah, right. The original voice actor for the part of Edgar in the Japanese version of Stellar Assault SS was the same guy who dubs Data in their episodes of Star Trek Next Generation. So
really,
so that's why we kind of kept that in mind with that part.
Oh,
you guys couldn't get Data's voice actor.
No, we couldn't get Brent Spiner. No,
can you get Brett Spiner? Man,
Edgar's in chat. Edgar's in the YouTube chat.
What's up, Danicon Show?
Excellent job, Dan.
Yo, thank you, Dan.
Loved your parts.
Ignore the part where I said that they should get Brett Spiner. You're better than Brett Spiner.
He also has a YouTube channel you guys could follow if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Can you link it in the chat, and I'll follow up on that.
Or just I don't think they can. They have to be a mod.
Can they not do that? Oh, okay. There you go. Shadow did it.
I'll pin that on the thing for now. So if you want to follow his channel, it's in the chat right there.
Nice.
Pinned on there. You could follow him. I think we're subscribed to SHIRO now. I just hit it.
So for someone
There we go.
Who was this? So some of the voice actors are returning, right? And they've done lots of different work, right? But for someone, it was like their first game that they'd ever done vocal for, right? Who would that apply to? I'm just curious.
I think that was the case for Rowan Dinkt, Space Galaga, and maybe also Rocco the Feo. So that's
nice.
Rowan Dinkt played the Umbrella pilot. It's the solar probe.
Right.
Space Galaga plays an unnamed pilot who is part of your greater squadron.
But you'll hear his voice again soon here with the
and he also
trailer.
he's also the narrator of our trailer.
Oh, awesome.
That's Space Galaga again, and Rocco DeFeo plays Brad Feel, who is one of your fellow captains. Am I forgetting anyone else? I'm not sure about Renee, if she had done this kind of acting before.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Renee Martin, the commanding officer.
Wait, so who's the one that says keep the jokes coming, or the jokes are great?
That's Rocco. Yeah,
that's Rocco.
That's Rocco playing.
He
Brad.
sounds so much like Panda. I kept having to do a double take. I'm like, oh, this guy sounds like Nick. But then I looked at the readme and I'm like, wait a second, Nick didn't.
Well, the good thing is that if anything happens, we can always get him to finish the reviews.
Yeah, we can get him to. There you go. No, but that's awesome. So I mean, it's great to hear that there are new voice talents entering into this field, and they did a great job. Like, I wouldn't know that they hadn't done voice work before based on their performances. But yeah, everything was very seamless and came together really nice. So
thanks.
Kudos, and my hat's off to all of you guys for the production value and for all of the organization and all the hard work that went into this. You delivered a very professional end product for folks to enjoy. Do we want to kick into the trailer real quick? We can show it a couple times, once in the beginning and once at the end for people who are showing up late. But okay, sure. All right, cool.
Let's
I will
do it.
I'll go ahead and cue up that trailer here. So without further ado, this is the Stellar Assault SS English localization trailer.
Let's kick it off.
I'm gonna mute my mic here.
The team that brought you Bulk Slash in English comes a brand new fan localization for your Sega Saturn.
Call me Maria. I'm Kite 3's AI module.
ID signal confirmed.
All units return fire. Don't die.
This is Garuda. Solid copy.
The ship's temperature is rising.
Are you kidding?
We've got word on your next mission.
What now?
Impact imminent.
Stellar Assault Double S. Full English localization patch. Now available for download.
Wow. That's awesome. Who did the trailer?
Sorry, question. Yeah.
I cut all the video, and Shadow Mask did the music and sound effects. It was a true labor of love. We burned some midnight oil.
Was that your question, Pat?
In general.
What? Was that your question, Pat? You had a question too. Who did the trailer?
Not a question. Whose beautiful hands were those playing with the mission stick?
Yeah,
I think that's Dan's, right?
That's me again.
Oh,
that's great.
Beautiful hands.
I think I was the only one who has one, right? Did
Dan got one. Dan got one, but I think it was broken or something, right?
Yeah, that's
Poor
right.
guy.
He
sore subject, I think.
Well, I guess those things that's kind of a thing though, right? Like, I don't have a mission stick straight up, but I mean, I've heard that. I mean, they can be. I mean, a little faulty here and there. So
we should have just stole K's when we went to the convention.
Apparently, they have like a photo sensor inside. They work by reacting to like varying light wavelength. Someone smarter than me can explain this better, but it seemed like such an odd. I've never even heard of such a thing, but that's how they work. But I have to imagine that they would be quite delicate, and I think they're whatever thing keeps them springy is probably prone to wear and tear.
Yeah.
But mine's been going strong for a while now. I got mine used like 15 years ago, but I also basically don't ever use it except for this project. And I have to say, you know, as someone who is already enjoying Stellar Assault, for me, this is a real thrill getting the mission stick support. And that's all thanks to Silos, who I think is still in the chat. I saw him earlier.
Oh, awesome.
Silos is a... correct me if I'm messing this up, Silos, but you're a software developer, right? And we connected through Twitch. He hangs out with me on my streams a lot, and he started poking around and figured out the mission stick thing, and also how to hack it so that the game gives you infinite continues instead of the default 3.
Yeah.
And then also change the default audio levels to better suit our mix. Mm-hmm. Now, the mission stick, it's funny because I bought the game originally based on bad information that the game was compatible with the mission stick. So it was this huge disappointment I faced like a few years ago. And it was disappointment followed by just being baffled. I was like, why wouldn't this game support the mission stick?
Since it's all missions.
Not only
They're
that,
all flight missions.
But I think you'd be hard pressed to find a better flight sim on the Saturn.
Oh, sure.
And it was also 98, so you figure like it's not an issue of it like being too soon, you know. And also, it supports the analog controller, so they went to the trouble of, you know, programming in analog control. And normally games that support one support the other.
Well, now you guys are 2 for 2. You've added new peripheral support, and well, thanks to Knight and thanks to Silos, you've added new peripheral support into both of these games. Papatsu made had a good question with the arcade stick. Have you guys tried the arcade stick? Any of the arcade sticks?
You know, I haven't.
Because I play this game like this. I actually play it like this, kind of like because that way I can hold down auto fire and hit the, you know, hold down auto fire and hit the missiles at the same time, and then also speed up and slow down. So I'm almost playing it like an arcade stick, and I was thinking, I definitely need to switch. Almost. I need to switch to a mission stick or like an arcade stick, because that would definitely be give me less carpal tunnel.
I would expect that it would work about as well as the mission stick, except you lose that analog smoothness, right? Because that is another big benefit of the. I know what you're talking about. Like it's helpful to have your hands or your fingers laid up on each of the face buttons
to be able to tap better without your thumb. Yeah.
And it's much easier to do that with the mission stick or an arcade stick. The great thing about the mission stick is you have that option, the button panel on the side, or you can use the buttons on the stick itself.
Right.
And it just makes you feel more like a fighter pilot.
Yeah. I'm surprised that I wonder how well it would have worked with the twin sticks itself.
I don't know. I thought that would be a weird fit, but I'd be curious. So the twin sticks are interesting, right? Because they just register as a Saturn pad with a weird button layout. Yeah. So who knows what? But this game is also cool because it lets you customize the controls.
Huh.
So
you can just make your own twin stick support.
There may or may not be a good layout to piece together there. So something I should note is that the way this hack works, and again, Silas, if you want to shut me up, please feel free. But it basically unlocks. So like the Saturn this game will now recognize any peripheral you plug in with varying results, and it was really only intended for the mission stick, but you could technically input like use the steering wheel, and it will register the inputs. It's not a good way to play the game, but I don't know. It might be worth some experimentation. We did test as many things as we could. The light guns don't do anything at all. The Saturn mouse is the only one that I would advise against having plugged in when you play this, because it causes a system reset, I found.
Mm-hmm. That's weird.
Yeah.
Also, we're 50, so I need to stand up now. So give me a second.
I saw. Wait, what? What was that, Pat?
They said if I get 50 views, it'd stand up. So yeah, there we go. The pants on.
Okay.
Hard to see, but yeah, I have the pants on. So.
So
play when we don't play around.
I saw somebody playing it with the steering wheel. I don't know if that was Double Dime or someone in the chat was trying to play it with the arcade racer. But yeah, that would be, I don't know. I have a hard time using the arcade racer on actual driving games. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah, no, Pat looks sharp for sure. I think James Segaholic said you look like Michael Scott. He said Pat promised that he was gonna wear a suit for this stream. That he's missing the hen tie though. You needed the hen tie.
I'll get that eventually. I have a cat tie, but not a hen tie.
So, were you guys gonna put up the article on the SHIRO website with the link to the patch?
Yep.
Sure.
Do we want to do that? I think we're.
Yeah, I think it's time. I have made it go live on Sega Extreme.
Okay.
So there's two official places you can get it, from the Sega Extreme Resources section or from SHIRO's website on your article that you're posting right now.
I'm gonna count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and published. It is up. I will put the link. I think hopefully there's no typos. If it is, I don't apologize for anything.
Fair.
The heck? There's like doubling up on there. Oh. Anyways, yeah, there we go. It is now up on there if you want to download the patch. It is in the description.
Let's watch our website completely tank.
Yeah, I put it on the bottom. It's right below the Stellar Saw video. The social access localization. It's kind of hard to find. I'll see if I can make it more clear. Give me a second.
Let's see. Where did you?
The website doesn't crash.
Down at the
bottom.
On the
bottom below.
Oh, here you go. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna put a little space because it's like right there, clipping it.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So there we go.
Okay, you will need the Saturn patcher from Night of Dragon, which you can download here.
Hopefully that's up to date. Night. If it's not, well.
Patcher 0.73.
Oh yeah, we're down.
Oh, we're down? The website's down?
500 server error. Yep.
Oh no way. Hold on a second. Oh.
Damn.
Wait.
This hasn't happened in a year and a half. We did it, boys.
Yeah. I'll get the patch in the thing. Give me a sec.
Like seriously, there couldn't be that many people going to the website.
I think our
right?
website just sucks.
Our website just sucks. I mean, we've been getting a lot fewer jetpack errors lately. Oh, hey, it's back. Yeah, no, it's just getting overloaded, I guess. Everybody's dogpiling onto it. But anyway, yeah, so project lead, Greg Lackerware more.
I saw a question a while ago about what we mean by the word localization.
Okay.
Dream of localization.
I've discovered that people read into this word a lot, and really, for me at least, I can only speak for myself, but this is just like the going term in the industry, so that's just what I'm used to saying. But I think it's a fairly common view among translators, at least of this language pair, that localization and translation are essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
They use that. The term comes from this idea that you're not just it's not just like a code. You're not just decoding one word for another.
Right.
You have to give consideration for the sensibilities of the target culture.
Right.
I would say that's already what translation is, especially in a language pair this different. So it doesn't mean we're changing sushi into hamburgers and stuff like that. It's translation. Same thing. Oh, we got Diana in the chat. She played Brenda Bright. She also played.
I don't know though. To be fair though, there is transliteration, which is just like direct like machine translation or whatever. Then you've got like translation, which kind of brings over some of the meaning into whatever target language. But then localization, where Ramir is like. What was the line? Well, I don't know. Just don't die. I mean, that's just localization, right? Like it's bringing over humor. It's bringing over subtlety.
But those are like a translation should be doing that, though. It's like, I mean, there is such a thing as well. Here's the thing: is because the languages share so little in common, a literal. Like even the idea of a literal translation is it's a relative concept. There's no such thing as like one like there's not just one literal translation. There are varying degrees of literality.
Okay.
And if you went full literal, it would cease to be English.
Yes.
Yeah, it wouldn't sound like English anymore. It'd be nonsense.
But you didn't have to. So you didn't handle anything where you had to change something over into something culturally relevant. It all pretty much crosses over.
Not really. I guess one of the more I don't know, like the bigger creative decisions was the proper nouns. So like things like all of the characters in the Japanese version, they all have, well, most of them except Aya have Western names, and they refer to each other by their first name. So Jake calls the player character Rob, and they all, it's like there's no mention of, well, sometimes they use ranks, but anyway, it just felt weird to me when translating it for all these military people that are part of the same squadron to be on first name basis,
right?
Because you just don't see that in any like military media in the English language. It's just not a convention, and there's so much convention against that in English media that we made the decision to switch to last names and sometimes just rank, like sometimes instead of saying Rob or Birdie, which is his last name, they'll just say Ensign, which is his rank. So like little things like that.
Okay. Yeah. So, and this isn't a negative thing. I just noticed that sometimes it was hard to discern who they were talking to. Like sometimes it was hard for me to discern whether they were talking to me or someone else until they'd finished like the entire sentence or the entire group of sentences, and I understood the context, and I was like, okay, they were talking to me, because they might toss in Rob or Birdie there, and I'm like, okay, they were talking. But like, yeah, so okay, now I know what you're talking about when they say ensign. I didn't realize that they were addressing me, But
yeah, so I mean, the other thing, and this is just like how the game is even in Japanese, but and Bulk Slash was this way too. If you don't read the manual, I think they really expected you to read the manual before you play the game.
Yes.
And if you don't, you're not going to know who's who,
right,
or what the relationships are, or what all these ship types are. Like people throw around terms like Feather One and Hawk Plume and Eagle Featherwing, and that's just like I kind of figured that stuff out only while translating the game. I was like, oh, that's what that is.
Right.
So check out the manual. Dan went to the trouble of making a North American style Sega Saturn long box manual, fully translated. And it gives a lot of key information. Maybe this is a good point to mention that there's a few little things in this game that if you don't know about them, they can really blindside you. Mechanics that are a little buried. I know you came up against this, Dave. So definitely check out the manual, because we put all the critical tips in there, and then also the README file that comes with this patch. Right. We reiterated all those crucial details of the game, including there's multiple endings. The criteria to get the best ending are a little obscure, so we went ahead and just laid it out. So just make sure that you check that stuff out to minimize possible frustration.
Whoa, okay, that didn't work. I was trying to show this video.
That's a big hand.
That's a big hand. Dan, okay, so wait, who this video with that's Greg?
That's me, yeah.
That's okay, because Dan posted it. I thought it was him. But no, that's awesome. So, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I kind of tried to go in blind and just play it, and it's fun. But yeah, there are some things that you won't get as much enjoyment out of it, I think, unless you read the manual first, because then you'll understand the context. You'll understand who's talking, who everybody is, exactly like he said.
RTFM noobs.
Yeah, so definitely it's one of those games where reading the manual definitely helps, So I highly recommended that.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited, but yeah, this is just an amazing stuff, and all the work and effort you guys put into it is just amazing with this patch. I love playing every moment of it, and I'm excited for people to get a chance to try it as well, because I know we've been showing off a bit on the show, and I think we always got a really good reception from that. So yeah, thank you again, guys, for letting us play that because it's a fun game.
Yeah, thank you for showing it all off, and having us on and letting us talk to people about it and get the word out about it. So what would starting with you, Greg, I guess, and going around the table, what was your favorite part about this project, like in hindsight?
Oh man, well, selfishly, I think it was probably the mission stick for me, because this was I'd been dreaming of playing this game with a mission stick for like a decade, so yeah. And it was this big disappointment that happened to me years ago. So that was really exciting when I finally had my hands on that. So I'm indebted to Silos for figuring that out. As far as like the actual like part of the project that I was involved in. I think it was being in the recording booth and working with the actors. Those were the most fun moments, where it was just, it felt like playing, it felt like we were collaborating on something in a playful way, and that was, just really gratifying.
So were you kind of like directing? You're playing like director?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
And that's just, my only experience to date, my only prior experience was with Bulk Slash. So really just winging it, pun definitely intended. And that, oh man, I'm bombing. So that's my
You're
answer.
bulk slashing it.
You're bulk slashing.
Bulk slash.
If anybody else cares to comment on that, like what, are we going to be able to talk to some of the voice actors? Because we certainly
they're
could.
Contractually not allowed to talk about.
They're under NDA to not talk.
Crouching Mouse is here. Ramir was talking earlier.
Yeah. Hey, Crouching Mouse.
Yo.
Wait, who was that just said hello?
That was Crouching Mouse.
That was Crouching Mouse. Hey.
She played Maria.
Yes, and now this has got to be what, like 3 or 4 projects, because she's done other stuff, right? Other recent Soccer Wars. Yeah, Soccer Wars.
Soccer Wars 1 and 2. So that's 2. Bulk Slash, and then Stellar Assault Dolus.
Nice.
I got that gameography unlocked right there.
Got it.
That's a portfolio right there. That's a resume.
Yeah, that's my Saturn resume currently.
Pretty rad.
Yeah, and also super. It's great working with Crouching Mouse because she's also bilingual. So that it just takes out a lot of the work of trying to explain the context. You can just show the clip. So like, got it.
Okay. Paul is asking in the chat, any plans for any other games? I think that you guys need a rest, right? You guys need a good you need a holiday. Just take some time off and decompress from all of it now that it's out, and enjoy the fruits of your labor, because people are going to be downloading it and playing it, and you get to hear their feedback and stuff, which I'm pretty sure is going to be positive. Of course, we're bracing ourselves for the naysayers who are like, you guys should have just done a text
why didn't you add text
translation.
into the game, guys?
Yeah, why didn't you add subtitles over
the gameplay?
Come on,
guys.
Dingle Dork Dave and Pessimist Pat, $2.
Thank you, Malenko.
Thank you for your $2
name.
distraction, Malenko.
Yeah, I took Pessimist Pat because Petty Pat was taken by some other dude, somebody that had played NES games or something. I think his name was like Patrick the Famicom man or something. Something like that.
Apparently, Emerald was Dingle Dork. That was an episode of SHIRO Show that I guess I was absent for, and so Emerald was your co-pilot. So yeah, I'm technically not Dingle Dork, but I'll take it. I'll take it if you're giving it to me.
Dingle Dork Dave, I like it. Dingle Dave is Pessimist Pat.
Yeah, James says this patch deserves a Sega Guys feature. I think it does. You guys are Saturn fans, so you definitely should be covering this. And I'm sure folks are going to love it. Get them on your show.
Tell them how awesome they are, because they are.
Yeah,
I agree. Get them on your show.
Yeah, definitely. Get them on a cast. That would be awesome. Anything else? Anything else we want to cover? well, Dan put together a nice manual for folks. And again, this is the manual we're recommending folks read before they play the game. And it's got, so Dan did some graphics, tech. He handled like the translation of the manual, I guess, working with Kargadin.
With Greg. Like
with Greg.
I did,
okay.
I did some of it myself, because some of it's just like katakana, which I can read. And I was kind of using like Google Translate to kind of get the gist of it, and then just sort of, rewrite it from there to actually sound good. Because I mean, it's a manual, so it's a lot of it is dry. Right. Some things weren't explained super well, so I tried to expand on it a little bit. And then for a few things where I just was not sure how it should be translated, I asked Greg for help. And then toward the end, when I was crunching this week to get the manual done, Greg helped me out on the characters, ships, and weapons pages. So many thanks to him for that. I really appreciate that. He also helped me out with a lot of the screenshots, because there were a ton of screenshots needed to make this manual. I essentially tried to reproduce what the Japanese manual was, just in a different page layout format, right? A long box instead of the little square jewel case shape. But I tried to keep the same sections that they did, and the same when they chose to have a screenshot of a particular screen or whatever to go with some text, I would try to get a screenshot to go along with it. But we'd have to recreate it, because I mean, our scan of this little low-res manual just was not cutting it. So we were just getting new screenshots from the game ourselves to reproduce all of that. So that was a lot of work and a lot of screenshots. Greg helped me out with some of that. Toward the
Luckily,
end, I appreciate it.
I had just spent a week and a half capturing B-roll for that trailer, so I was just pulling screenshots from that.
Somebody in the chat, well, Knight says he's going to play the superior Shadow Squadron.
Wow.
Well,
I was actually curious. Trekkies was saying that the game, the film muxer, actually got a lot of work during this. Did you guys want to explain what he meant by that?
Yeah.
I think it's Shadow Mask's area of expertise.
Yeah, it sure did. That was great to be able to. Basically, what the muxer allows you to do is keep the original video quality while substituting in new audio. So before that existed, what we would have had to do was, re-encode the video, and then you'd have essentially like a double encode. So all the graphical distortions would be more pronounced, and you'd be doing that just to get the new audio in. So we were able to avoid that. What the muxer does is it takes the video from one file and the audio from another, and it muxes them together. And so all we needed to do was encode the new audio, and then just grab video and audio from those respective files.
That's awesome. Great. Yeah, that's an invaluable tool for projects like this. And moving forward, I can imagine it's going to be a go-to. Like that's the crazy thing, is there's been some really, really valuable, useful tools that have been developed for the Saturn community, and that's definitely one that I ranked up there for the competition for sure, because of how valuable it's going to be to projects.
It was well timed too. Like it came out, it was released just before we needed it.
I mean, what did you guys do for Bulk Slash?
I can't really speak to that.
That was Momphis handled that, I believe. And it was
the audio stream muxed, or was it just like a recompressed?
Actually, I do know a little bit about that. It was like a custom tool that was created. I think it was possibly compressed, and they needed a way to sort of extract and then reinsert the audio, and it wasn't straightforward, so they needed some custom tools made. I can't remember who did that work, but Memphis could speak more to that for sure.
Trekkie says he thinks it was ffmpeg, which sounds about right. That's usually like a go-to tool when you don't have anything out, when you're out of options. ffmpeg, and Trekkies can hop in. Okay. What was that?
Because I remember, wasn't the audio completely replaced in the Death Mask translation as well? Like you just ripped the audio and put it in there, or was that a different method?
Yeah, that was ffmpeg and virtual dub as well.
Gotcha.
Oh, Mompus is here. Yeah. Yes, it was.
That was true motion video, though, so we didn't have the same issue. Another thing, Trekkie should speak to this more than me, but there's a whole issue with like stab tables, something like that, where you get like these occasional audio blips, and by using his muxer, you're kind of able to get around that. And that was present in Bulk Slash to a certain extent. It's hard to notice, but not having it there is nice. It's a step up in quality.
Excellent.
Yeah. So what goes on with ffmpeg is it technically works, but there's this chunk at the start of every Cinepack file that kind of tells you that tells the system, okay, this chunk is video, these chunks are audio, these chunks are video, these chunks are audio, and it tells you like how big they are, what type they are, and all that kind of fun stuff. And what happens with ffmpeg is it doesn't get that chunk correct, so it has things that are off. So it kind of works, and if you to like the average person, it looks okay. But when you actually do a lot of stuff with video, you start to notice some of the errors. And one of them is you'll hear like this audible click or pop every now and then. And it's one of the things where if you don't notice it, it's fine. But once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
Yeah.
So that was kind of what kind of pushed me to start making the muxer in the first place. So
it kind of, if I can use that for a certain translation of a game that's a Resident Evil one.
Possibly.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil 1. Anyways, yeah, but no, I'll have to look into that. Maybe I could use that. Maybe do a Resident Evil project with that. That'd be kind of fun.
I mean, off the top of your head, because I imagine you guys have kind of you've probably thumbed through the Saturn's library, and you're at least aware of like some of the good candidates that would be candidates for vocal dub. Can you think of any others off the top of your head that might benefit from this tool and you might consider for a future project? Or have you just not even...
I don't think we've had any discussions about it.
Yeah, I mean...
Griffin comes to mind. I mean, there's some dubbing that needs to be done to get that over the finish line. I'd love to see that done. I'd love to help with it.
A Sakura Wars fan dub would be kind of neat.
It would be a massive undertaking.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the issue with Sakura Wars is you need people that can also sing.
And Sakura Wars is...
We'll do the we'll just sing Alice in Chains covers for each of the songs.
I would be so down for that. But let me tell you, Sakura Wars, there's an audience right there that really could crucify you for doing a dub, you know? I just don't know. You know, it's the same kind of folks that would be really upset that you did a dub in the first place, you know?
It's one of those things where, like, as good as these ones are, it would be very, very... the original acting for Sakura Wars is on such a high pedestal, it would be very hard to even get to matching it, I'd say.
True. Whereas what you guys have brought to these projects is better than half or more than half of what we got in the West, you know, like with a lot of game localizations, they like took the janitor and like pulled him into a sound booth and be like, okay, we need your voice, you know, like there are so many bad English dubs, you know, on the Saturn and PlayStation for that matter. So,
and they had actual budgets at the time. As well.
I know, that's the crazy thing. You know, well, they're trying to save money. They're probably pocketing some of that, or paying the higher paid actors, and then they're like, okay, we need somebody to just do some bit parts. But yeah, no, it's great. What? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to go over you.
I was. Crap, I forgot what I was going to say.
I just want to say one thing is that if there was a Sakura Wars dub, I just hope that whoever does it gives ours a French accent and Maria a Russian accent. Just my 2 cents.
So what was your guys' budget? I imagine it was somewhere in the negative $100.
Sweat and tears.
Yeah, I mean,
if you had to buy equipment or anything like that for this, you're out of pocket. Yeah, no, definitely blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah,
no, I don't think we had to buy any equipment. We just kind of used what we had.
Use what you had, and just put in a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean that was sort of a sticking point for me is making sure money was involved as little as possible. Ideally, not at all. which that does mean we don't have a steady recording setup. We're just relying on whatever sound equipment the actors have and stuff like that. But I think that's in the spirit of a fan project.
Sure.
I didn't feel right about involving expense.
Sure.
But in terms of man hours, I mean, I can only imagine. I think I easily put in more than 1,000 hours on this project.
As artists, which you guys unequivocally are, have you considered the possibility of welcoming folks to support you that want to? Because I can
Patreon.
I imagine there's a lot of folks who would love to have the opportunity to support what you guys are doing. I mean, we're all going to download your stuff regardless, and play the hell out of it.
Twice.
But I think that some folks would really love it if they could support you guys, especially if there's like a next project or something. No pressure, just wanting to support you guys.
I think we each have our own
individual
things, so maybe this would be a good time to plug that stuff, guys, if you want.
Oh, definitely.
Plug
Absolutely.
your Patreons and Ko-fis in the chat.
And you can mention it if you want. Yeah, absolutely. Open air.
We're also going to plug ours, so if you don't plug yours, we'll plug ours.
I mean, I get, as long as we all, can still put food on our table and we have jobs that we're doing, I'm happy to do this stuff, in my spare time. Last couple months have been a little bit tough, but I'm going to be moving into a new job here soon, so I don't feel like I think I can speak for us that we don't really need the support. We're happy to do this stuff. But maybe
the
there's
financial support anyway.
Yeah.
I appreciate everyone.
Please play the game.
Yeah,
definitely play the game, share it out, tell your friends about it. Yeah,
I would. Yeah, but what would make me happy is if everyone who enjoys this, just follows the actors and the team wherever they are active and supports whatever ventures you see them working on. A lot of these actors are starting out on their acting journey and they're really talented. So anytime you see an opportunity to give them a signal boost, that's great. Follow us on Twitter. We have
co-host and Mastodon.
Right.
Yeah, with the Twitter apocalypse, it looked like it was imminent and now is delayed. I don't know, but when things were looking grim there back in the fall, I was like, oh shoot, I guess I better make some accounts on some other places. So I made a co-host and a Mastodon account, and this whole time I've been putting out all of the Stellar Salt messaging across all of those platforms simultaneously, so I can just kind of meet people wherever they are, however they want to be on social media. I've tried to keep everybody up to date on how Stellar Salt's been going.
Definitely.
Yeah, and if you want to follow everybody, all their links and info are in the on the article that we pinned towards the bottom. It has all the voice actors and their social medias, and then at the bottom we have all the teams' social media and info as well.
Exactly, right here. You got Renee Martin, Ramir, Crouching Mouse, Dan Bosley, Mike Dent, Rocco DeFeo. We don't have Diana Aloco. I don't have a link for her, but maybe we'll get that.
In the past, when I've asked her, she hasn't really had any links to share. Diana's a good friend of mine.
Cool.
She can ping me whenever if she has something to plug.
Rowan and Space Galaga, and then of course, the project leads, script engineers, script editors. Dan doesn't have a link, but he's a SHIRO, so you know where to find him.
My link's right above it. He just didn't link me twice.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, that's true. Okay, didn't link you. And then of course Silos for the mission stick. Awesome. And then Pat here too. Wrote this up.
You don't have to like. Honestly, if you could unlike my profile and like theirs instead.
Right.
I mean, you could probably like both, but I mean, it'll be some more symbolic if you go out of the way to unlike me and then like theirs instead, because they deserve it more, in my opinion.
But yeah, so anything else? I think Pat, you're gonna stream in the next hour, right? Over the second hour, you're gonna do like a levels 11 through 14, is it?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna stream, then I'll actually play the game after, so we should be good on that.
Nice.
That was a pee joke, by the way.
Okay, okay. It's kindergarten humor, but okay.
Hey, gotta keep it that way.
Jokes are great today.
Jokes are great.
Exactly. Gotta
Keep 'em
throw.
coming.
That was a great line.
I'm Michael Scott after all, so you know, you gotta.
That was a great line.
Gotta get the.
Did you guys want to play the trailer again?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I just wanted to.
Yes.
I thought I'd point out one thing before that.
Okay.
The music in this represented a fair amount of work. Back in October of last year, I was talking to Miss T on Discord, and I was able to get a version of her MIDI extractor tool that works on Windows 10. And so I was able to get all the MIDI from Stellar Assault and then rip the samples as well. Rebuilt it all in Pro Tools. Tried to make it sound exactly like the original, but in a completely editable way. So you could change notes, you could add extra harmonies, things like that. So when it came time to do the trailer, that's what we ended up using. So the music that you're going to hear was being generated in real time on the computer, and there were some extra parts and harmonies that were added to it to make it sound extra special for the trailer.
Nice, and that's Misty, as in Misty Demono, the was it Misty Demio or whatever her name is?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I believe so.
Gotcha. I do have a funny story with her actually. That so I work at my day job is doing iOS stuff, and I was looking up a solution to a problem, and all of a sudden, one of the solutions was written by her, and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny.
Small world.
Somehow going into both facets of my personal and my.
It's a really cool tool. I mean, it's kind of a musician specific thing. You know, if you're not interested in working with MIDI and sound fonts and things like that, it has limited versatility. Mm-hmm. But for somebody like me, it's awesome to be able to get the actual MIDI tracks from most Saturn games, and hoping to do more of that on future projects.
Yeah, that's awesome. By the way, Shadow just uploaded a really nice FLAC, like lossless FLAC version of the soundtrack on YouTube. Hopefully you could plug that too. Well, yeah, he can because he's an admin here. Yeah, but yeah, just plug that soundtrack here because it's phenomenal, and folks definitely should check that out.
Yeah,
the music is a highlight of this game.
It is. I was gonna say, check out that soundtrack and then come back to the trailer again afterwards, and try and listen for all the stuff that Shadow Mask added, because it really is a special, unique piece made for the trailer. So it's really cool, and it's another way that his expertise has really shined in the project.
Yeah, this is going around the iPod for sure.
Okay, so we're gonna roll the trailer again, right?
Yep.
Okay, so because we got 55 people in the chat. So yeah, for everybody who missed it the first time around, this is the Stellar Assault SS English localization trailer. Here we go. Let's see here.
From the team that brought you Bulk Slash in English comes a brand new fan localization for your Sega Saturn.
Signal confirmed.
All units return fire. Don't die.
This is Garuda. Solid copy.
The ship's temperature is rising.
Are you kidding?
Hawk Featherwing, we've got word on your next mission.
What now?
Impact imminent.
Stellar Assault Double S full English localization patch now available for download.
Awesome.
Great stuff. I love the voice acting, love the music. Amazing work, guys.
Yeah, another home run.
Knocked out of the park. You guys are awesome. I love you.
And
thanks, Pat. Love you too.
Absolutely. So what I guess we should thank our patrons real quick and then roll credits, and then we'll be on to the game stream, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun game stream. I got a really good one.
And you guys are gonna stick around for that, right? They're gonna have live chat and commentary.
Yeah,
sure,
of course.
Awesome. Okay, great.
The hockey game on in the corner, but I'm going to watch too.
So everybody stick around because it's going to be a fun second hour. Until next time, let's see. I'm going to get our patrons up here, which I'm late on, but it's okay. Patreon.
Dan Dorito. Our new Patreon, Dan Dorito. Shout out.
Danny DeVito?
Just joking. Dan Dorito.
Dan Dorito.
Just joking. That's not a Patreon. I just made up a name.
Oh, great. I'm
getting silly.
Pat,
I don't
read
worry,
them
I'm
off.
getting list up.
Okay, yeah, because my token, I got logged out. I got logged out. Now I have to log back in.
I'll log you out.
Yeah, I know you will.
I will. Also, we got 2 new patrons. Oh, no, wait, this is last time. But I'll shout them out anyways. Christopher May and Julian. Shouts out. Mr. Bashir. Just joking. Go watch Deep Space Nine if you haven't. Shouts out Deep Space Nine. It's a obscure show.
Apologies to the folks in the UK. I got the time wrong because I guess you guys also have like a daylight savings thing going on, and yeah, so I guess it's 11. Yeah, some folks got to go to bed, and I get that. But yeah, to those who were able to join us, we really appreciate you watching, and yeah, our view count is dropping now as the people in the UK have to go to bed.
No, UK people stay. Just kill your sleep schedule for me. But anyways, got a shout out to Murder of Crows, Blue Moon 95, Emerald Nova, Johannes Fetz, Nate Lawrence, Cerillion, David Zaney, Derek aka18, Fat Drunk Friend Otaku, Jim Clasher Rank, Justin Momphis, Normal Guy, Newt Rageous, Robert Manzi, Rowan Dish, Sega Steve. Rowan Dish shouts out, he also is the voice in the project. Sega Steve, Stoneman, Tanuki Trev, Thuron Brown, and Young Money Sowi. If you'd like to be shouted on the SHIRO Show, you could back us at the $10 and up all access Patreon level, which will get you cool shouts out and other cool, neat things as well, little cool ins and stuff like that. If you back us at the $3 and up level, we get also really cool things on top of that, like you can get into our all access Discord or Insider Discord. We might have something new coming up. When I'm talking with Dave, we might have a new sort of exclusive club. I don't know. We're thinking about it.
Yeah,
we're working on some things.
We're talking about it. Yeah.
We're talking about an exclusive club. Going to be parties.
It's like the bar underneath the restaurant. You know, that you have to go through the back. No,
it's like White Rabbit.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's you can also get betas for fan translations. We got 2 up right now. We got Super Bomberman Fight and Terra Fantastica, both by the wonderful and amazing and most handsome and dashing Malenko. So if you guys want to play that, you can do that if you back us at the $3 and up level. And if you're $1 and up, you also get shout out in our magazine, the SHIRO magazine. I don't know if you can pull that up to show people. I don't have a copy in arm's reach right now, so.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah. I can get one. No,
that's okay.
Too far away.
I can
bring.
We
have a magazine. Just trust us. If you want to play get a Cookie magazine, you'll get your name shout out in there. And yeah, did I miss any other cool featurettes? Anything cool that being a Patreon will entail?
I guess the net links whenever we finish that out, whenever we put those together, folks will have the first dibs on those. We need a new net.
If you want to get online,
they're working on a new netlink guide, and as soon as we get that sorted, we'll get that up on the website, because the one that we have right now kind of is it's over engineered. It's too much. It makes it look a lot more complicated than it is, and everybody who is in our online group, they know that it's actually pretty simple when it gets right down.
You have to be Richard Dean Anderson to
Pat,
be able to
you
do
avoided it for a
website.
while, and then when you finally got yours online, you're like, oh, that wasn't a big deal. Yeah, so
yeah,
definitely, the magazine is linked through the website here, and you can get that, or you can also just do like a donation, or link to the Patreon. Yeah, exactly, merch. There's shirts and stuff like that.
We got a lot of options for y'all.
And until next time. Well, actually, Pat's gonna stick around. I'm gonna stream, I got a jet, but yeah, Pat's gonna stream. And
stay tuned.
Yeah, no, this is it's been an awesome little show, and then we're looking forward to the stream. So everybody sit tight. And this has been SaturnDave and TraynoCo reminding you to play your Sega Saturn. Yesterday was It's Out There Day, by the way, May 11th. So yeah, everybody should be playing a little bit of Sega Saturn and then, some Tears of the Kingdom, but mostly Sega Saturn.
Yeah,
right?
we're streaming Deep Space Nine, actually. Yep.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I'm going to roll credits.
Give me some time. Welcome back to the SHIRO Show, the gameplay portion. Wow, that was fast. My screen is a little bit chunky. A little bit chunky screen today. Let me go fix that. Welcome back to the stream. We got a lot in store for y'all. There we go. Perfect.
Yeah, I like the tie.
Yeah, no, this is the party time. Party time. It's kind of hard to wrap around my head.
After dark.
SHIRO After Dark.
Go. Ready we do it. Do it the fun style. Pants are on. They're staying on. Because I am a gentleman. But that tie was killing my neck. It was kind of feeling like Rodney Dangerfield in this, except not dead. But anyways, welcome to the gameplay portion of the stream. We got everything sorted, and we're going to play some Stellar Assault Double S if I can find it. There we go. Welcome. Welcome to the show. So how are y'all doing in the chat?
Doing good. Tired. It's been a long week.
Oof, I understand that. Is my thing not? My that's SaturnDave. Mine's up. But yeah, well, I'm excited to play this. Got some cool video of it. Hopefully you guys can hear it all right. Jump a little bit. We can hear the awesome voice acting. Controller.
4 years have passed since first contact. Earth, the third planet, fell under siege to an alien fleet the likes of which we'd never seen. The situation seemed dire, but to our surprise, the enemy were easily repelled, withdrawing at the first show of resistance and vanishing as swiftly as they'd appeared. Their technology had simply been no match for that of mankind. Considering the minimal damage done, there was perhaps a silver lining to the incident. The attack had unified us, bringing an end to eons of conflict over ethnic and religious divides. Afterward, we studied what we could from the wreckage of enemy ships, but there was precious little to be learned. The vessels had been outfitted with self-bricking mechanisms, making them all but impossible to examine. Then, 2 years later, there was a second contact. The identity of the alien menace remained a mystery, but this time, we were ready for them. Knowing another encounter was all but inevitable, we'd work together as one human race to make preparations to intercept an attack. Having only incurred minor damage in the previous clash, we'd assumed the enemy would be even easier to repel this time. But the alien invaders had another surprise for us. Their once outdated technology had evolved immensely in 2 years' time. It was now nearly on par with our own. Had we not undergone a technological revolution over those 2 years, they might have wiped us out then and there. Then, as the battle descended into chaos, the enemy vanished yet again. This time, however, we were able to track them. They had performed a series of space-time jumps, consolidating their forces at the edge of our solar system. Then, with a mysterious blast, disappeared altogether. Some theorized they'd recognized their imminent defeat and self-destructed. But ultimately, we determined it safest to assume they'd escaped, leaving open the possibility of a future encounter. Another 2 years passed, and now they've made contact for a third time. This time, certain facets of their technology have surpassed ours. This comes in spite of humanity's strengthened coordination and further technological advances since the last contact. We no longer have the assurance we once did. Only questions. Why did they attack at 2-year intervals? Where did they come from? And who, or what, are they?
What are they indeed? Amazing voice acting, amazing voice acting. What was the, what is the narration again?
That's Renee Martin as Aya. She's both the narrator and your commander throughout the game. So she does all the mission briefings. And yeah, that was a tough one, you know, because it's a lot. It's just very full on. It's one person going for like 3 minutes, and there's a lot of drama. And it's the first impression that the whole game leaves on the player. So, I don't know. It felt like sort of a relatively high stakes piece of audio. But she was great. And, you know, very patient as we tried to feel out, because I think that was probably one of the first things that we worked on too. But as we tried to feel out the right tone for that intro, it's great to work with.
No, I really like it. I really like it a lot. I really like it. It's great voice acting, and it reminds me a lot of like a Red Alert, which I like a lot. I love Red Alert, the Red Alert games. So props to Renee.
Is that where Tim Curry does his space line?
That's the third.
Is that what that's from?
That's the third one.
Ah,
but it is. It's like we're going with that's capitalism. We're going to space. God, I love Tim Curry. R.I.P. Tim Curry.
Did he die?
No, he didn't. But I just want to say R.I.P. Tim Curry. Anyways, okay. So I think I might have messed up. I looked at trace. I'm not seeing any new traces. So hopefully, I used the save that you gave me, the bup file.
So let me explain. The way this game handles save data is a little complicated. So there's this whole trace feature. For those watching along in the chat, basically what that means is this game can record instant replays of your gameplay footage. Each time you finish a mission, you get the option to watch a replay. And what it does is it gives you new dynamic camera angles, which is cool. And then when it does that, when it generates the replay, that sits on your temporary Saturn RAM, I guess. And then you have the option to save it permanently, but you can only save it to a cartridge. You have to have the memory cartridge. Now, the actual game progress, like your main save data that saves your progress, that only saves to your internal Saturn battery.
Makes sense.
So
not really, but
your game progress saves internally. Replays save to the cart. So the reason this is all grayed out is because we did not give you any trace replays we didn't give that. So. This is working as normal. So now what should be working is if you go to record new, because there's a stage select buried in this mode. Because basically the idea is any stage that you've cleared in the game, you can then go back and replay and record a trace replay as many times as you want. So what should happen after Pat selects a ship right now is he should get the option to choose which mission. Well, first you gotta choose how many players, and then
weird. And so there we go. Yeah. And we want to do mission 11, right?
I think that's what where we were talking about starting.
Okay, we'll do that. Let's start this up. Hearing that beautiful voice acting.
The solar probe has aided us in conducting a detailed scan of Venus's moon, revealing an enemy base.
Like we're typing fast.
This one is larger than its frontline base and appears to have some sort of enormous structure at its center. We believe it is a staging site for an attack against Earth. We must neutralize this base, for Earth's sake, as well as to protect the Venus colony. Therefore, we will launch an assault with every fighter aboard this carrier. The enemy base is built in a radial structure on the moon's surface, with several battleships positioned around it. As with the frontline base, it appears to be converting the moon's mineral components into energy, which it is amassing in a central tower. If we approach from above, we risk coming under concentrated fire from those battleships. Therefore, please make your descent at a distance, stay low to the ground, infiltrate and attack. Best of luck.
So I want to say something to the 4x3. So it might be a remnant of the idea that so in regular media, like letterbox is important because in a standard letterbox, it's not ratioed the same as film. So if you watch a film on a TV that's like your standard definition, like standard square, you actually have to cut off portions of the video to fit it in that space. But letterboxing allows you to have the full screen of the cinema that was originally intended for on a standard definition television. Now, why they went with this is unknown, because this is not obviously film and they don't have to do that. Maybe it's a cinematic feel per se, but that's sort of why there's a lot of those versions. And honestly, the worst versions are actually the full screen versions of it.
Yeah, the game is in widescreen. So depending on your TV, you may be able to actually zoom in such that it fills your entire widescreen TV.
It's like we have to go buy those widescreen PVMs now for our set.
Because the options have a section for the screen, and screen you can use adjust position and literally slide the horizontal and vertical positioning of the screen. So if you have a widescreen television, like the original Japanese manual, when we translated that for the English one, does make mention that you can use that option to expand the game screen to fill the entire wide screen of your TV, and kind of eliminate those gray bars. And actually, the gray bars can be changed as well if you go into Derek A-Team was just chatting with me about that in the SHIRO Discord a minute ago. I was telling him you can change that if you go into screen and then adjust mask color. Adjust mask color lets you change the area outside of the gameplay screen to whatever color you want, and if you slide the sliders all the way to the left, you can turn it completely black. So that's kind of a cool feature. And he pointed out, he's like, oh, it's a shame you couldn't have hard-coded that. And it's like, that's a great idea that no one thought of until right now. Oh, well.
It's all good.
Small issue, I guess.
Get the game going?
Sure.
Do it.
Sure. Make sure we don't interrupt any of the voice acting, because the most important part, we need to show off the voice acting in this game for our amazing voice actors.
Hawk Squadron's all set. Eagle 1, Falcon 1. How's it looking on your end? Good to go. No issues here. Well, shall we then?
Mission area coordinates confirmed. Initiating jump.
And once again, they expect Space Command to take down a whole base.
Same song, new day. What's holding up the fleet? They should be pretty close by now.
We're at the mission area. Jumping out.
Here goes. Stay close to the ground.
Enemy base confirmed. Straight ahead.
Well, might as well stop by since we're in the neighborhood. Hawk Squadron, full speed ahead. Let's start with those battleships.
There's about a gazillion of those gun turrets centered around the base. Be careful.
Amazing voice acting is always the Maria by Crouching Mouse, right?
That's right, Captain.
Hell yeah.
So this mission, I love this mission. It feels like one of the sort of big missions in the game. There's a few missions that stand out as like major in my mind anyway. But this is also the part where we've noticed a lot of people get confused about what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I was kind of confused myself.
And I know Dave came up against this yesterday, and it was it cost him a lot of time. So I do, just to reiterate, please check out the manual Dan made when you download this patch, and also the README file. There's a lot of information in that README file, but there's a specific section that's like important information about the game or something to that effect. Definitely check out that section because it does have some pretty key info that will help mitigate frustration. But yeah, when that part comes up, I'll point it out.
Gotcha. So my job is killing these ships, right? The things in red?
Kill the things in red. Yeah, that's usually a good rule of thumb in this game, with a couple key exceptions that affect the ending annoyingly.
That's weird.
Yeah. Weird.
Word. Okay, we're shooting the hell out of these ships. Four of them dead.
The central tower has opened fire.
All right, all units.
So in chat, Omar Fernandez asked, "Can I play this on Terra Onion mode?" And yeah, it should work. We had someone test it on mode, didn't we?
I can't recall if we did.
I know, I can't remember. It's been such a blur this week, but it should work on the mode. If it doesn't,
I don't think
sorry.
I got around to that. It should work fine.
Low.
Yeah, we know that this game, with the patch or without it, does not work on the Mister. Unfortunately, the Saturn Mister core is still a work in progress.
Trying it out last night, and it gets to the menu, and it's really. Like, I was actually able to get it to select the vehicles and stuff, but like for some reason, it was not going past that stage. Like that was about it.
You don't have the memory upgrade on your Mister, do you?
I do. I have the 128 megabit stick on there, so that should have worked. But it's a single slot. I don't have the dual RAM. So if that was going to be.
Hopefully the core will get there eventually and be able to play this game.
I mean, on the bright side, I was able to play the entirety of Bulk Slash, so the dub.
That's good. Yeah, I heard that Bulk Slash was doing better on the core lately. So Crevo Student asks in chat, are any of these original Japanese developers aware of you guys and you doing this project? And yes, actually, the original director of Stellar Assault SS, his name is Tsuchida. He actually did somehow find out about the project. He must have done a search on Twitter or something. He has a Twitter account, and he's been liking our tweets about it and making little comments, encouraging us, saying things like how wonderful and great, and putting little happy emoji guys on it. It's been really encouraging to see him, because nobody from Bulk Slash, as far as we know, who originally made the game, ever found out about it. Certainly never said anything to us while we were working on that patch. But yeah, the director Tsuchida has been very encouraging about our fan patch this whole time. I think he's excited that people are playing something he, I'm sure, spent a lot of time and effort on in his younger days. This game is 25 years old now. Its 25th birthday was a few months ago in February.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. So I'm sure he's happy that people are playing it again, and a new audience gets to experience it. So it's super cool that he has been tweeting at us this whole time. I mean, even just when I put out the launch stream announcement yesterday, he put out a tweet saying great. So yeah, we really appreciate that Tsuchida has been giving us kind words this whole time.
All other locations have reinforced armor and are not susceptible.
I'm like deader than dead. Oh, never mind. I got my. Okay, cool. I got a boost. That's cool. I was way there for a second. Also, I didn't realize that the that hitting the X button, holding that down, used my energy up. I did not realize that. Oh, I'm dead. Or I put the P.
Yeah, it's a tough room. It's a tough room, and it's tough to get back out too. I actually survived in the room when I played this, testing it earlier this week. I survived in the room, but then I did not get out fast enough, and I burned up. I died before I could get
I'm actually
into
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna conserve my shots. I'm just gonna use my regular laser instead of the other one, because I didn't realize it was using my energy when I did that.
Yeah. Yeah, with this ship, the Type B, it's pretty intensive to use that.
How's it looking on your end?
Good to go.
No issues here. Well, shall we then?
Mission area coordinates confirmed. Initiating jump.
And once again, they expect Space Command to take down a whole base.
Same song, new day. What's holding up the fleet? They should be pretty close by now.
We're at the mission area. Jumping out.
Hey, sorry, I went to the bathroom. What'd I miss?
I died.
Nothing. I was someone in chat.
Here goes. Stay close to the ground.
Trevo student asked if anyone from the original development team of Stellar Assault had ever been aware of us working on this, so I mentioned director Tsuchida.
Oh crap. Oops.
Yeah, that is. Sorry, I guess you already.
Yeah, you can give your thoughts on it though. Why not?
I've always been a little wary of being noticed by original, because you just never know how they're going to react, and I'm very aware of the fact that we're doing unsolicited things to their work, and I think there's a few ways that you could take that. You could take it as a compliment, or maybe what I would hope is that they see it as we're doing the thing that they hoped happened in the first place. And this game is full of English. The whole UI is in English. So it kind of suggests that they were hoping that this game would get an international release. But it was 1998, and the Saturn was kind of on the way out.
Squadron's all set.
So you'd hope that they would be thrilled to see something like this, and to see someone digging so deeply into their work from decades ago. But depending on the person, they could also see it as like, well, I didn't approve this, But he has been very, very supportive of the project, time and time again. Every time there's an update from Dan, he makes sure to chime in with some word of support. So it's that's been very, very nice to have.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's really cool.
Yeah, and because of that, I put him in the special thanks in the manual. I had to, because he's just, firstly, he directed a really awesome game that we just spent more than a year working on to make more accessible to English audiences. And then just the fact that he's been so nice to us on Twitter with all of our updates. I wanted to thank him especially, as well as the whole development team who worked on Stellar Assault Double S. Hopefully, maybe some of them have seen it too on Twitter. Hopefully they're excited and gratified that we have that we wanted to work on this to make it in English.
Yeah, I think more creative types nowadays are actually sharing this out. Like I think didn't one of the voice actresses from Soccer Wars share out one of the translations for it?
Yeah, I think so. I vaguely remember that. I don't quite remember.
Well, I wonder if Crouching Mouse might have the insight.
Oh, I had not heard about that. That's awesome if that's true.
So I remember somebody posted like one of the Soccer Wars voice actors. I think it might have been from So Long My Love tweeted something at her. Maybe the third. No, I think it might have been for the third game. I'm not sure for sure, but I remember that I saw that, and I think somebody PM'd me. Like, oh yeah, look at one of the voice actors in the game tweeted this out. I'm like, well, really? And it's like, there's actually them. So I thought that was really cool. I'll see if I can pick it up. It might have been for 3, but I could be wrong. I'll have to look that up though.
So what I know about, at least for the first 2 games, I believe the translation for the first game was referenced in a Japanese fan book that went over the series history and that, and it was referenced in that with screenshots and everything of it.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
The translation for the first game was referenced in a Japanese fan book, and they had screenshots of it and everything.
That's crazy. Can you send me a link to that? I'd love to see that.
I need to go digging for it, but sure. The other one is, at least with the first game, I saw a lot of Japanese gamers on, well, no, with the second game when we revealed it on the SHIRO stream and the title screen graphic started making the rounds, I did see a bunch of Japanese Twitter users all like shouting out in like confusion, like, wait, when did this get localized? Because of how good the logo turned out.
Yeah.
That's
it is
so
kind
cool.
of funny. And it's flattering at the same time. It's like we're like, this is like the quality that can get this, like it's like a like the thing that we wanted, like clamoring watching the old PBS anime specials of that one bearded guy holding a copy of Sakura Wars. It's like that reality is now. We can make that possible, like with how cheap studio equipment has become, how close we can get to actual studio quality microphones at the fraction of the price of an actual studio, especially with digital. Like we definitely nag on digital, but I think digital is probably the best thing that's ever happened to like amateurs of the professional space. Because before it's like you have to get a studio, special light, like equipment, special foam. It was like a whole process, and like putting analog tape, and it just wasn't affordable. And now we can get like studio quality level audio just for digital.
The funny thing is, I'm kind of trying to match the original, like, audio quality just for continuity's sake, to a certain extent. So we have like these really nice quality recordings, and then there's a decision that you need to make about how close to the original you want to be, and do you want to actually modify a higher quality sound to fit. There was a little bit of that in this project.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, no, I definitely see that in a lot of like older, like stuff that's like older projects. Like it's like stuff that even like in professional stuff, it's like they try to match that audio. Oh god.
Huh? It's shut behind us.
Oh what? Stop! No! What the heck happened? Wait, what the heck happened? Did I get stuck on the door?
So, okay, entering those tunnels, I think those are some of the coolest moments in the game, but they're also some of the most likely to get you killed, because you get
rebound physics.
Yeah, you get ping-ponged. You can sort of mitigate that a little if you use your assault field with the C button. That's your force field.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I usually try to get some distance. I saw Shadow Mass doing this the other day, I think.
Yeah.
He went like way up in the air and then turned around so that you had a long. It's almost like trying to create your own midair runway to line it up.
Punished for impatience in this game in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. Oh my god, I just I played through the entire game a couple days ago for testing purposes, and then only the next day did I discover that I had it set on hard mode the entire night.
Oh wow.
No issues here.
Because there were like all these moments where it's like, man, I really don't remember this enemy shooting so much. That's what it was.
I've never tried hard mode. I haven't had the stones for it.
It's pretty hard, but that so I will say, like, after that night of testing, it really
what's holding up the fleet?
It was validating because I always try to keep as light a hand as possible when doing these projects, and like you hear horror stories about studios like working designs messing with the game balance.
Stay close to the ground.
And like overstepping the role as localizers to actually like change the way like the game design. And I've not wanted to do that, but this was one case where I was just like, the game, I just feel like it's so much more enjoyable if you can continue as many times as you need, because otherwise, by default the game gave you 3 continues, and it's a quite hard game. All of the in-game cutscenes are unskippable, so if you die 3 times at like mission 16, you then have to go through the entire game again and can't skip anything, which is really brutal. And I think for most players that's and like early in the project I actually read a bunch of user reviews in Japanese for this game, and pretty much invariably they brought that up. They brought up the unskippable cutscenes and the limited continues, and I was like, would this just be a unanimously better Like, would everyone agree this is a better experience if you could just keep going? Because it's not like you can continue and then respawn in real time. You still have to get through each challenge. So it's not like you're just coasting. You can't just spam continues to win. It just saves you from having to repeat the last 2 hours of gameplay or whatever.
That would kind of suck. Oh wow, damn, I'm hitting you head on.
So, and that was all thanks to Silas's hacking of the game. But I do think it really it improves the experience a lot, and I don't even feel a little sorry about it.
Well, big stuff.
Oh yeah, about the pink bullets. Only the Type B ship can shoot the pink bullets, but that's one of the ways. I think they actually did a really, really good job of making Type A and Type B very distinct. The two ships that you can choose in the game.
Focus on the tower.
And one of those things is that Type B can shoot the enemy bullets to cancel them out.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that on this one, you can actually shoot the bullets. It's not too bad.
And another, one of the benefits of using Type A, the other ship, is that it has a really fast laser cannon.
Yeah.
And just to plug the mission stick feature again, if you prefer Type B, the mission stick has auto fire programmable to each button independently. So you can play as ship Type B with auto fire, which was not possible in the retail version of the game. And I think that's the sole reason that I was able to make it through hard mode the other night, is because I was using auto fire with the strong ship.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's what I love about these translation projects, that it's not necessarily just a translation. It's like it's almost like it's a localization and a improvement patch, like it's got ported,
Yeah, and I mean, I think you have to be. That's a very slippery slope, in general, I'm wary of anyone who says, "Oh, I know better than the person who made this game." But it just, I think it seemed like such unanimous feedback, even in the Japanese audience.
If it feels wrong, we'll pull back.
And also just decades after the fact, I think most games that get re-released decades after the fact have some sort of rewind feature, something to mitigate the punishment of when when you die and get a game over and have to start the game over from scratch. Like if you buy a Mega Man collection, there's a rewind button so you don't have to do that. And I think that's generally good. And you can still let when you die in this game, there's a countdown like in all arcade games, right? So if you don't like having unlimited continues, you can still just let the timer run out.
That makes sense. There we go. Just a little bit.
There is a large open space ahead.
Yeah, I like how it's just making you just hit the go button on this. It's like the go, and it's like a giant endless tunnel.
I detect a high concentration.
Not quite endless.
It would appear this is where the conversion takes place.
Trevo student, asking what kind of software do you recommend using if you want to get into translating text in games?
Probably TextPad. I mean, the 8-bit, the base, any hex editor, probably is a good choice.
Yeah, I think it depends what part of the process you're talking about, and also what games you're talking about. The hex editor. What did we use for hex editing throughout this? I know I have it. I wasn't that involved in that. H2 something. HXD is what we used, at least in Bulk Slash. For.
Now remember, hit the gas when you get out of this tunnel.
Oh, I'm holding that boost button right now.
Oh, yeah, this is the part. No, double tap it, double press it, double.
Oh.
Are you?
There we go.
I was looking at the stream. This is the part, guys. You gotta double press the accelerator and hold it to reach the actual top speed of your ship. If you're just holding the button.
Heck? Why is the thing closed?
That's why you have to hit top speed.
Oh my
that's
god,
so
that
dumb.
death replay.
It's a very cool scene, but they don't. The top speed mechanic is so buried up until that point in the game that it sneaks up on you.
Just go straight through it next time.
You're supposed to plow through it.
Is it cool if I just go to 12 or?
I mean, yeah, that was basically the end of this mission.
There we go.
Don't do what Pat did. He was on the right track, but you just have to believe in the power of your force field.
Garuda is currently docked to a container ship.
I think there's a line
the
in the game from Edgar, right, about
fuel, putting us at
making sure that you hit top speed to plow through
However,
it.
we cannot abandon it while it is unarmed.
He does tell you.
Hawk and Eagle squadrons, deploy all units at once. Intercept the enemy at all costs.
Oh, you actually have to go through it. Okay, that's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't want to skip the voice acting. It's kind of what we're showing off on the show. A little bit of an important thing.
Garuda to all units. We are currently
This might
evacuating
take precedence
all
over my
passengers
Dark
off
Souls
the
3
container
buy.
ship
I
onto
love to hear
ours.
that.
Once complete, the
Very
container ship will
resentful
vacate
of those
the area
games.
via autopilot. Until then,
Yeah,
guard
I'm
that
still trying
ship
to get
at
through
all
Elden Ring, but
costs.
man,
The container
it
ship
is
is well
rough.
armored, but were it to explode, the Garuda could itself
Very
sustain
long
critical
game.
damage.
I think if you're about to buy the new Zelda, then you're gonna have to pick one.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to play some Zelda soon.
Yo, Birdie! Glad you could join us. Listen, things will get ugly if we don't clear the area ASAP. Hop to it.
I'll be here looking after Garuda.
Of course, I'm gonna play a lot of Stellar Assault
Maria,
first, though.
no word of encouragement for me.
Where goes Circuit Daddy?
What can I break, Maria?
Another leg?
Another leg. That's funny.
What am I, a parrot?
Can it?
This dog is amazing.
So that whole run, that's one of the more loosely translated runs in the game, and that was a Kargaden edit. I kind of struggled with the humor in that section, and I feel like she really brought it back to life.
Well. Okay. All the ships. So yeah, this game is very Star Fox-esque, which I love because I've said before, I'm actually a huge fan of Star Fox, so any more games like Star Fox is good for me.
It's definitely in that vein. This and Bulk, like, it does feel like a pretty good companion piece to the Bulk Slash project. You know, like if you like one, there's a pretty good chance you're gonna be into the other.
Yeah. This character interactions alone is so good. I think that's what makes this game very interesting. Is that's like hearing the characters and making you feel like you're part of the team, like hearing the wisecracking jokes. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, and I think for the time, this sort of real-time banter was pretty novel. You know, I was talking earlier this week about how this game really feels like it's more than the sum of its parts. When I was doing capture for the launch trailer, I turned the music off so that we could add Shadow Mask's music afterward. And I was like, oh my god, like without the music, all these really exciting moments in the game are kind of a snooze. And then also just the VO, we've listened to VO over and over and over in in various audio editing programs, but seeing it or hearing it in the context of the game while there's lasers and ships zipping by you and you're taking out these giant set piece, capital ships, it just adds this whole new dimension.
Finally,
and all of these things come together in such a way that's it was surprising. I can only speak for myself. It's surprising to me, even though I had been working on this project for months and months and months.
It's like a sum of its parts sort of thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What was that? Mission 11, all right. Or 12, that was easy.
Easy peasy. Much easy. Yeah, that's so getting back to what I was saying earlier, there's like a few missions that feel like sort of mile markers, like big missions. And the previous mission was a big one that was really hard and strict. And then the next mission is like a breeze. So the difficulty, it's not really, it's not a clean curve. It's kind of all over the place.
The enemy has arrived in the vicinity of the sun, but remains
it's
at
like
a
it's like a final score. It's like a final test scoring for university
and
almost.
launch a coordinated attack with the entirety of our military force.
Yes,
enemy forces are
pretty much
in a hollow
report card throughout
formation.
school.
We will send squadrons consisting of a few ships each to simultaneously attack their low density points.
No, I survived.
All fighters take point and destroy the enemy ships so our allied fleet can proceed ahead.
Did you do college?
Any interfering enemy ships will be marked as targets on your HUD. Best of luck.
I think, I mean, I might as well say what the university is. There's Arizona State University. Got my Bachelor of Science in Computer Science.
Sounds very hard.
It was. I took calculus like 5 times. I am pretty stupid, to be honest. And the thing that annoyed me, though, is that right after I graduated, they got rid of the massive calc requirement. So I just need to take Calc 1 and then like a engineering math class that was pretty easy.
Oh my god, I avoided math like the plague in college. I took a financial math course for like a hot minute, failed the first test, and dropped it. I don't even know what I did instead.
Let's do this. All right.
Ready to go?
I had a 4-year degree in working in a recording studio and then proceeded to never get a job working in a recording
Guess
studio.
we'll be face to face with the enemy once we
But
jump
that's
out,
cool
huh?
though. You can at least like
It's
use
a
that.
piece of paper.
Scared?
Yeah.
Sounds like
Sure
someone's
is.
going soft.
Stick it.
After 4 years of your BS, I can
Speaking of 4 years of BS,
it, Jake. What's that supposed to mean? Am I so bad?
Yeah.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, it is kind of rough having to listen to the dialogue when you don't want to.
I mean, you always want to hear the dialogue, so you have to hear the awesome voice acting, right?
So okay, so not to shoot ourselves in the foot a little. I should note that if you're just trying to do a quick playthrough of the game, in the main menu when you go to the options, in the sound you can set the sound effects, music, and VO volumes separately, and if you set the VO volume to 0, it will actually skip the in-game dialogues, so it will speed up the progression of the game.
It'll also make the translation team cry, so don't do that.
I mean,
I forgot about that.
It's a cool feature, you know, for subsequent playthroughs where you already know what to do, and maybe you just want the arcade feel. Obviously, we want everyone to experience our hard work. And I mean, not just our hard work, but that's like at the heart of this game. This is why they made, well, I don't know why they made it, but like, this is what this has over the 32X version, is they added this whole radio drama on top. And there will also be vocal cues that explain what you're supposed to do in each mission, so if you turn that off on your first playthrough, you might not know what you're supposed to do. But it is worth pointing out that that feature's there. That's another just cool little detail that they stuck in this game. I feel like this game is full of like, it's a pretty high-tech game for the Saturn. I feel, you know, it was 98, it was toward the end of the Saturn's life, and it often I see things in this game that feel like the dev team pointing out, like, look what the Saturn can do, guys.
Yeah, so we got it down, guys. Now we gotta get used to the Dreamcast.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's there if you want to speed up the game.
All the ships.
The question of whether this is a remake or a sequel to the 32X game, Shadow Squadron. Dan seems to have the, yeah, he's talking in the chat now. It's a reimagining of the 32X game. I think that's the best way to describe it. Or like a ground-up remake. What I didn't know until like yesterday when Dan told me, it's not even the it's not even the same team that made the 32X game. I haven't played that version, but yeah, I think they basically just took the idea of it and then reimagined it and rebuilt it from the ground up for the Saturn, and it catering to the strengths of the Saturn.
State-of-the-art ultra-speed assault craft. It possesses 3 times your mobility.
Non-die ships.
Dev team is called Sims. Koji Tsuda. Put that name in the chat because it's tricky. The director who has been cheering us on is Koji Tsuda. He's got a Twitter presence. He tweets food that he cooks, and seems like a very nice man. And worked on some other cool stuff. He did the what was it? Saturn port of Darkstalkers or something.
Nice.
There was some Capcom connection that surprised me because I used to work there and I never
You worked at Capcom?
Yeah, it was. I was.
I didn't know that.
It was. I'm sure this came up before. I just don't.
Didn't you work? Didn't you work on like one of the Mega Man 9s or 10s or something?
I was the community manager for the canceled, disgraced Mega Man Legends 3.
Oh, so what you're saying is that you might know the secret hidden Easter egg in Mega Man 9 and 10 is what you're telling me.
Oh yeah, I do actually. Yeah.
What is it? Or can you not say it?
I'm not at liberty to divulge.
Dang. All right. Well, I tried game trailers.
Let me just say this: it's real boring and not cool.
I gotcha. Yeah, cause like
the most interesting thing about it is the secret.
I gotcha. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see when they find out what it is, but hopefully they're still able to do it once now that the Wii shop is down. But maybe that's not.
Wait. They'll do what now that the Wii shop's down?
Now that the Wii shop's down, because there's rumors that for a while that Mega Man 9 and 10 secret was like you have to get to a level in the endless boss battle and you have to enter a name, and like that was the rumors. At least on game trailers, what they were finding is that that's what the secret was that involved that. But with Mega Man 9 and 10 not being able to be downloaded anymore on the Wii shop, that might be more difficult to do, especially with the online being canceled. But yeah.
Garuda to all Hawk Squadron units. UNSF
like I said, don't reveal it. Like, you don't have to say anything. The silence will be golden.
Like, whatever you're imagining it is more exciting than what it actually is.
Proceed directly to the target.
Fair.
Hawk Plume Wing,
which I would say holds true for Mega Man in general.
Roger that. Ensign Bright.
Were you ever reached out by game trailers about that, or?
Not that I don't know. Not that I remember.
Because I remember they reached out to a community manager, and that'd be really funny if that was actually you that they asked about.
It could have been.
That would have been funny. But yeah, I don't know if you ever watched it. It's called Pop Fiction. It's about that secret in particular, and they were helping on trying to find out what it was, but it turned out they could not ever find out what it was. But their rumor, I think their final thing was it had something to do with the endless level attack, where you had to get to a certain point in the game and it will show something on screen, because they like looked at all the options and stuff. It was crazy that the stuff they did to try to figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I do remember something about that, and I feel sorry for them for putting so much time into it. I have a request. I have a request. So, is this the last mission you're going to show?
I think I can finish the whole game if you guys want.
That is all the intel I'm able to provide.
Well, we had
Forgive me, but you'll have to make do.
I don't know how concerned is the appropriate amount of concern to be about spoilers 25 years after the fact, but I mean, the premise of this whole project is that a bunch of people haven't played it before, so maybe we should be concerned about spoilers.
Hey, I'm down. We can talk a little bit. Is this the mission that spoilers, mission 14, or?
No. 14's okay, but the request I was gonna make is, can you show off the replay system when you finish this mission? Can you actually show the replay?
Yeah, no, I can for sure. Pat, get aggressive reflexes. Pat, super volt sponge. Pat, get able to travel to play the stage with 2 players. I'll be down. Yeah, what was it like being? I guess I figured I probably should ask about the game, but I'll ask you in private about the community manager stuff. So we'll put a hold on that.
The armor plating on this enemy
I'll just bug you for the rest of the eternity to tell me what that secret is. So.
But it still seems to have its weak spots.
But anyways,
they just had
let's
to make
say,
it complicated.
yeah, I guess what mission did you want me to stop at? Just like this one, and we'll show off the replayer?
Well, I think we had talked about going as far as this mission. I mean, through this mission.
I gotcha. I honestly forgot where it stopped. I know we were starting at 11 though, so I wasn't sure. I probably should get better with paying attention like that, but.
Yeah, I think we had said 11 through 14.
Okay.
And this is what we did with the launch trailer is we left out any footage from 15 through 17 because it gets a little spoilery. This is a very cool set piece mission. I think it's probably a direct reference to one of the Star Wars movies, but I don't know them well enough to remember which one.
Don't worry, none of them are good, so it's all fine.
Oh my god.
I'm just joking, I'm only playing.
I'm fighting words.
Connecting now.
Anyways, spoilers, if you guys want to watch Star Wars The Original Trilogy, do not watch on Disney Plus. Go find, I can't say down because that's illegal. Go find a copy of Star Wars 83 or the Star Wars The Uncut Editions. It's like Star Wars 4K 83, 4K 79, and 4K 81, I think. If anybody is smarter than or the uncut editions, the unedited cuts where they like actually put together Laserdisc footage, 18mm, it's a whole thing. So look at those fan projects, and that's how you should watch it, or buy a Laserdisc player and watch it that way, or a VHS player. I know that Shadowmask, didn't you show off one of them? I could have sworn Shadow did. Is he still in the chat, or are you gone? I can't see the chat right now.
There looks to be some kind of power.
But I'm fairly sure Shadow showed off the original cuts at one point.
Alas, it is guarded by a strong barrier. From my observations,
Shadowmask does a lot of streaming VHS on his Twitch channel. Oh yeah, here he is.
Sorry, I actually was just walking back. I was cooking dinner. What was the question?
Did you watch the VHSs of Star Wars, the uncut ones, on your stream yet? I can't remember if you did that or not.
We did the CBS Fox hi-fi releases. I'm pretty sure those are the uncut ones.
Yeah, that should be the uncut
really
ones. The undigitally edited ones.
They were fantastic. It's a great expense too. They weren't cheap, but it was a great stream.
Yeah. So how am I supposed to get past this barrier?
Okay. They hint at this in the dialogue, but if you use your assault field, which is C button.
Oh, you just go through it, right?
You go through it, and then you have to immediately blast the core.
Gotcha.
And then you're good.
Okay, not like that though, so.
Yeah, this is one of those moments where it's good to try and line up your...
Yeah.
You know, get some distance, sort of create your own mid-air runway.
Yeah, I see. I see. Gonna do that. Put this down.
That's the stuff. And blast away. There you go.
Oh, okay. Baba Booey.
Regular blastoids.
No, not again.
Big
I got
explosion.
it. I got it, Xenos. I got it.
So a reminder to play the trace replay if you don't mind once this mission ends.
No, I can do. Yeah, I can do that.
If you don't mind, because I just think it's a really cool feature that they bother to put in the game. I think it's a little bit convoluted how they presented it, but it's worth messing around with because it's. If you guys ever played like Driver on the PS1 where you could make your own car chase movies. It's kind of like that, except you don't have control over the camera. It just procedurally creates camera angles. But it's pretty cool, and it feels like they're trying to flex the power of 3D. You know, it's like look, it's all the data's there, so we can change the camera. We can change the camera whenever we want. And also I should have pointed this out earlier.
Trace play, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
While this is going, I can talk about this, but sort of a hidden feature is when you pause the game, if you hit the X button, you can change to a third-person view. This whole game is playable in third person. And if you hit the X button a second time while paused, you switch to a fixed camera, like dynamic camera angles view, which is almost impossible to actually play well in because the camera is just like you're flying by while the camera stays put.
We'll do the cinematic view.
It was great for creating a trailer, I tell you what.
They just had to make it complicated.
Very pretty effects for those trailers. But yeah, this game is beautiful, amazing work, guys. This game is muy perfecto. I'm glad it's out there for everyone to play. I'm excited to see what you guys have in store, either with another project or your own personal projects. Because I know a few of you work on other projects besides this one, so I know there's a lot of interaction with that. I know Crouching Mouse specifically is doing some great work on Soccer Wars 2, and I think you're working on. Are you involved in 3 as well? I can't remember if you're in 3.
No, I'm not currently working on 3.
Okay, I couldn't remember. There was somebody that was working on 2 that was on 3, so I wasn't sure if there was a. I think it might have been Matt OB. I think he was doing both. I can't remember.
Not sure. I forget.
Sorry we're late. Connecting now.
Glad to have you
Yeah,
with
no.
us.
Definitely love all the work y'all worked on that. Love the voice of Maria Crouching Mouse, amazing work, and I loved Kina too, and Bulk Slash. So thank you again.
No, thank you for having me, and thank you for the kind words.
No, for sure. I love having y'all on. You guys are amazing to talk with and amazing to present this cool stuff with, because I love it all, and it's just like, I don't know, like it's just so good. I'm just so excited to just all the games you guys released. So much work, a great amount of work, and I recommend everyone try out this game if you can. Like, I mean, and yeah, we're not playing the last mission because you need to play it for yourself, so go download the patch on our website, SegaShiro.com, or on Sega Extreme. I imagine Dan, Blackaware, and everyone else will be sharing out the patches as well, so there'll be a copious amount of ways to get this patch. Probably some other ways that you directly download, but it's neither here nor there, and we don't recommend doing that, but you know, if you gotta do what you gotta do, then yeah.
Maria was such an important role, and to get that right and to just be able to rely on Crouching Mouse to continuously give us good performances was great, and she knocked it out of the park. The Soccer Wars team is lucky to have her.
You know, I'm madly excited for Soccer Wars 2, and I definitely am going to have you all on once that drops as well, or at least as close to release, so you're able to show that off. Because I'd love to do the same thing and present it the same way. So I think that'd be a lot of fun. So I don't think we really had that interaction when you guys dropped the first one, but if you don't want to do it for the second one, I'm more than welcome to do that, because I think we had a big reception with Soccer Wars 2, the reveal. So a lot of people love that. So definitely down once you guys are ready to show off what you have. We can.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it if the rest of the team is up for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do definitely want to talk to you guys after the show as well, about something. But yeah, I think
How mysterious.
Mysterious. I want to talk. Thank you guys in private.
Go play the game. Tell your friends.
Exactly.
Yeah, check it out, guys. It really is a great Saturn showpiece. So we hope you like it, and thank you for following along with this project. Thank you guys on the SHIRO show for always supporting us, and
we're not worthy. We're not worthy, guys.
Hog Squadron. All
really centralizing the community. So.
Huh?
But yeah,
you must play Sega Saturn.
Yep. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. And remember, actually, before we go, is there anything you guys want to plug? Before the floor is yours for the next couple minutes or so.
Within the Allied fleet. UNSF cruiser Ganesha has got
I think we mentioned stuff in the previous hour and all that stuff. Applicable. Yeah, just follow us on Twitter and follow all of our talented voice actors that worked on this game on Twitter. And like you said in the SHIRO article on this patch release, that's got links to everybody in there.
Yeah, I echo that.
Yeah, but I think with that, I think that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching, and remember, you must play and must enjoy Sega Saturn, and you must enjoy the English patch of Stellar Solid SS and download it. You must.
Yay!
Good luck.